Final bit of deadline day action for Hull City as Abu Kamara has finally sealed the move and he's completed a loan move over to Getafe in Spain. Hello there and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel where today we're giving you the last bit of transfer news, mainly surrounding Hull City. Of course, there is still the possibility for free transfers to come in with Hull City. Of course, that being a market where they might be favouring a bit more at the moment with the current fee restrictions. But the outgoing departure for Hull City, and that being Abu Kamara, only on a loan move. We'll come on to the significance of that in a second. But first of all, let's hear what Hull City have to say on the matter. Winger Abu Kamara has completed a season-long loan move to Spanish La Liga side Getafe. The Azulions have the option to make this move a permanent next summer. We'll also come on to how that could influence things in a bit. The 22-year-old signed from Norwich City last August, swapping East Anglia for East Yorkshire and making 37 appearances during his debut campaign with the Tigers. The wide player scored 5 goals, including a brace against Leeds United last season, and providing 3 assists last term before featuring in the first 3 matches of this season. Getafe, who drew with City in pre-season, have taken 7 points from their opening 3 La Liga matches, having narrowly avoided relegation by 2 points last season, finishing 13th. We'd like to wish Abu all the best for his spell over in Spain. Well, wish you all the best, Abu Kamara, for your time out in Spain. But what does this mean for Hull City in their winging options at the moment? Well, of course, we've seen David Akintola really take a shine, and I really liked his performance last game out for Hull City. Of course, ended in a shocking 4-2 defeat, but I still liked what David Akintola provided out on that right wing. Of course, he was out there because Abu Kamara was over in Spain facilitating this move out there on loan. But of course, there is the options of Mohamed Baloumi. He's getting his fitness back. Of course, you look over onto another player who can play out on the right, Joe Gelhardt. He's going to play a bit more in the central role, I feel, for the time being, but he can certainly play out on the right in a pinch. He's played out on there for quite an extensive number of games for City so far in his loan spell last season, and of course, his loan spell so far this season. So Hull City aren't short of players out on the right wing. They aren't short of players out on the left wing either. So Abu Kamara's spot in this squad was maybe quickly dwindling, and for a young player that you maybe bought in on last summer and you wanted to sort of get the best out of him and then maybe have a bit of a higher selling factor coming up, this is possibly a good move for him to get him a full season's worth of football out on loan at a side that have the option to buy him at the end of the season. It's an option, not a obligation, so they're not obliged to buy him at the end of the season. He's very well still be Hull City's player at the end of the season. But this maybe is Hull City going, we're going to just shop Abu Kamara out a little bit, see what he can do, of course, over in Spain. And of course, if he produces wonders and becomes maybe the player that we were all hoping he destined fully to be last season, and he can maybe shine out there in Spain and Hull City bring him back, and he could produce wonders in next season for Hull City. Of course, he is on that little bit of a longer contract for Hull City, I believe. He signed, I think, the 5-year contract last summer, coming in from Norwich City. Of course, Hull City, paid a pretty penny for Abu Kamara. It is expected, though, that if he does move out, and of course, this all depends on if he has a good season, Hull City might be able to recuperate what they paid last season for Abu Kamara, which is good. But I've got to say, I've liked what I've seen from Abu Kamara. It's been certainly a progression from his performances last season to what he has got so far this season. He's certainly bulked out a bit. He's gained a bit more strength. His on-the-ball capabilities are looking a bit better, and also his pass playing, his overall footballing technique is looking far better so far from what we've seen this season, of course, being in them opening 3 games. I've quite liked what I've seen from him, and so hopefully, I mean, that is a continual progression factor for him, his time over in Spain, and who knows what can happen at the end of the season, moving into the summer transfer window. Of course, Hull City are able to buy players then, so whether that determines into the factor on what Abu Kamara's future is with the squad, who knows? But it's a very interesting one. Abu Kamara completes a loan move out towards Getafe over in Spain. I'll be keeping your tabs here on the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel on what he gets up to out on loan over in Spain. Of course, there's a few key matches over there in Spain where we'll be keeping an eye on how Abu Kamara faces up against some of the big sides over in Spain, your likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, and so on. So, of course, I'll keep it on Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel here for all of that surrounding Abu Kamara, plus all of the other Hull City news. So you can see I'm back in England, back off my Holly Bobs, and so plenty more Hull City content here on the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Up the Tigers!